Guys are really excited to be here playing against Florida State on Friday night. It's a terrific challenge for us, a great matchup, a team that's playing very good, but so are we. So our guys had a great week last week, and we're looking to build on last week's success down here in San Antonio.
Paul Woody from the Richmond Times-Dispatch. Coach Smart, your guys looked very loose out there, very relaxed. Is that something you've encouraged, or is that just the way they naturally are?
Both. It's something we've encouraged quite a bit, Paul. In fact, we give them a three-letter acronym, ACL, aggressive, confident, and loose. And when we play that way, we're very tough to beat. And you know, in this NCAA tournament, we've done a great job playing that way. And we try to, in our shoot-arounds and our practices, get a lot done and be productive, but at the same time make sure the guys are having fun and that they're loose. So what we try to do when we hit the postseason is make sure our guys understand that most of the work has already been done. Now it's a matter of going out and having fun, executing, playing together, and it's almost like a cumulative test in a class, in that you know, all the work you put in, all the time you spend on offense, on defense, on special teams, now's the time to bring all that stuff out. And I think last year we did that well in the postseason, and this year we've done it well so far.
Blair Kirchhoff with the Kansas City Star. First of all, I guess the idea is not to tear the ACL.
Well, actually, not ours. We talk to our big guys, and obviously this is figurative, not literal, but when we coach our big guys from August on, we talk to them about breaking your opponent's ACL. And again, it's not something we want to injure anyone, but that's the type of ferocity we want to post up and duck in with. So it fits well with our guys. They hear ACL all the time, and but the acronym just happened to be the same.
And also, this is a time of year that there's a lot of coaching speculation, and your name often comes up. First of all, I wonder how you feel about that, then kind of how do you manage the rumor mill?
I don't really feel any way about it. It comes with the territory. When you are able to win games in the NCAA tournament, it happens every year. It's almost like a formula. You win a game or two, then you know this is going to follow. But how do I manage it? It's easy to manage because my focus is 100% on our team. And somebody asked me, well, how do the guys deal with it? I don't think our guys are focused on the rumor mill or the coaching carousel. They're so locked into the NCAA tournament, and they know that I am too, so it hasn't been an issue.
Paul Woody from the Richmond Times-Dispatch again. Shaka, was the shooting contest at the end of practice with Steve Kerr today your idea? If it was, why? And did you have to explain to your players who Steve Kerr was as a player?
Well, the answer to your last question is absolutely not that we have to explain it, because, and this is why it was so neat that Steve Kerr is here and participated in our shoot-around. He is one of the 3 pros that we use on our scouting report to help our guys understand what type of closeout they should use when the ball is passed to their man. We use Rajon Rondo as a player that you should close out short to, because he's much more likely to drive, and he's much more effective putting the ball on the floor than he is shooting. We use Dwayne Wade as someone who's kind of in between. He can shoot and he can really put the ball on the floor. And then we use Steve Kerr as a player that we've got to do a great job closing out on, and we got to make him put the ball on the floor. So all of a sudden Steve Kerr was in the gym, and Kyle Getter and I, we always think of something to do at the end of shoot-arounds to, again, keep it light and get our guys excited, make them feel good about what we're doing. So we put our heads together and pulled Steve out there, and I thought for sure Steve would win because he's the best shooter I've ever seen. But you know, Joey stepped up there and knocked him in. We don't use any video clips of him. Maybe at the beginning of the season we'll show the 3 different type of guys. But what we have on our scouting report is a big picture of each of the players we're going up against. So, for instance, Derwin Kitchen from Florida State. And then underneath their picture is either Kerr, Wade, or Rondo, whichever closeout we're instructing our guys to use on that player. So they know very, very well about Steve Kerr, because when the ball's passed to a shooter and we don't do a good job closing out, the first thing we yell at, hey guys, he's a Kerr. And it's nice to have Kerr with us today.
Tim Perrell, the Richmond Times-Dispatch. Shaka, what would you say is the key matchup for you in this game?
That's a good question, Tim. I think we got to do a really nice job on Kitchen. I think he is a much better player than people give him credit for. And I think he's an all-ACC caliber player. It's just they have a lot of guys that they kind of share the wealth. But to me, he is very, very good, and he's got terrific size for the position. And when he really gets going and has terrific games, you know, their team is tough to beat. I remember watching the Duke game on TV, just happened to be watching it. I think it was in January when they beat Duke at home. And, you know, he was as good as anybody on the floor in that game. So that's one guy we got to do a great job on. Guys, we're in the midst of two different situations right now. There's the game itself and preparation for the game, and then there's everything else surrounding it. We can't let that second situation take our minds off the first, because the first situation is what's going to determine whether we stay here in San Antonio over the weekend or whether we go home.